Hello everyone, it's Miss Fackelman, or Andrea to those of you who only know me on YouTube, and today we are going to create one-point perspective drawings. One-point perspective drawings are going to further our skills with creating optical images, especially for my students who just finished their optical art coil drawings. Now, one-point perspective drawings really focus on the element of space within art. Now, space is the element of art that creates a feeling of depth or three-dimensional area within a picture or any other flat kind of art. One-point perspective represents 3D space by using intersecting lines that all go to the same point. This is often used to capture outdoor images or indoor images that have objects like railroad tracks, buildings, or hallways. This was first established in 1415. That's when we first started to see paintings in history that really used intersecting lines to create a sense of space and distance. Now, one of these artists that first established the use of one-point perspective is Filippo Brunelleschi, and he was an architect from Florence. In 1415, he created this painting where you could see all the lines on the pavement converging with a vanishing point behind this building. And then another artist who started to use this was Masaccio. He was an Italian painter who first became known during the early Renaissance period. If any of you are not familiar with Renaissance art, I highly recommend that you explore the history of the Renaissance or at least look at the paintings. It's really beautiful work. And he showed attention to space in his painting, The Tribute to Money. This was created between 1426 and 1427. If you take a look closely, all the edges of the stairs we see in this painting, and also the edges of the doorways and the roofs, all converge with the same vanishing point. Now, for this assignment, as we become more familiar with using one-point perspective to create the illusion of space in a drawing, we are going to create checkered hallways with a door at the end. So everyone grab a piece of paper, whether it's notebook paper or printer paper or a really big sheet of sketch paper, grab a pencil, grab an eraser, grab a sharpener, and whatever coloring supplies you have, and let's get started. All right, I have all my art supplies. One thing I didn't mention that you're going to need for this assignment is a ruler. Not because you need the numbers, but you do need to use something with a straight edge. If some of you do not have rulers handy at the moment, that's absolutely fine. You could use the edge of a book or a magazine or anything else that is sturdy and has a straight edge so you can draw the lines that you need. Now, first, to draw our one-point perspective hallways, we are going to draw a dot somewhere in the middle of our paper. Now, right now we're not pressing hard with our pencils because most of the lines that we make right now, or most of the marks we're going to make, are going to be erased later. And to make sure that they erase more easily, you need to press lightly so that way it'll go away and you won't see any remaining marks of whatever lines or... Now, I have all of my art supplies. One thing I also need to tell you to get is a ruler because we're going to be drawing a lot of straight lines for this assignment. If you don't have a ruler handy, that's okay. Just use a book or a magazine or anything else that is sturdy with a straight edge. Now, as we are starting to draw, don't press too hard with your pencil because if you need to erase a mark that you make, which most of these right now we will need to erase, you want to make sure that it goes away completely. So don't press too hard. Otherwise, any marks you erase will still be there, but a little fainter. Now, first thing we're going to do is draw our vanishing point. That's where everything that has a flat surface is going to line up and converge in the middle. Draw a little dot somewhere in the middle, not over here, not over there, but somewhere right here in the middle. Now that we've drawn our vanishing point, we are going to take our rulers and we are going to draw lines that come from each corner of your paper to the vanishing point. Is it lined up right now? Nope. We need to make sure that each corner of the paper lines up with the vanishing point. All right, now I'm ready. Make sure you press down hard on your ruler so it doesn't shake and draw that line. All right, great. Please do what I did just now, but repeat it with every other corner of the paper and draw a line that connects with the vanishing point. Right, now I have 4 lines that converge with the vanishing point. The next thing we want to do before we start drawing any other lines that converge with the vanishing point, we need to draw a rectangle right in the middle of our paper to make a door. Make sure that each side of the... Now, to draw my doorway in the middle, it can be as little as you want, but it can't be so big that it takes up most of your paper. We need to have enough space to create the checkered patterns on the walls, on the ceiling, and on the floor of our hallway. Let's say at the most we want our doorway to be about 3 inches. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to draw a straight line that goes from this line down to here. It's a little over 3 inches. There we go. Now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to place it horizontally to make the bottom of my door. There we go. Now I'm going to draw the other side of my door to make sure. Now that I've drawn the bottom, I'm also going to make the top. Make sure that it's horizontal and not crooked. All right, now I'm going to draw my last vertical line by connecting these 2 lines right here. There we go. All right, now I have my door drawn. What I want you to do, you can erase the lines, but do not erase the vanishing point. The vanishing point we still need as we make the other lines in our checkered pattern. I'm going to erase these lines. Before I start drawing the lines that converge with the vanishing point, I'm going to draw the lines that go vertically up and down on the walls. Take your rulers, place them pretty close to the side of the door, and then draw a straight line that goes from the corner of the ceiling to the bottom where the wall meets the floor. On this line, I'm going to create my next vertical line a little farther from the first one, because the farther things get, the smaller or narrower they look. And now I'm going to try making them look bigger the closer they get to the edge of the paper, because the closer they get to the edge of the paper, the closer they would be to the viewer. So now I'm going to draw another vertical line, making this section a little bigger than this one. And then I'm going to draw the next vertical line a little farther, so this one's bigger than the one before. And then I'm going to make the next section in our wall a little farther. And I would say I am done with this wall. Now, I'm sure many of you were thinking that you're now going to draw all of the other lines on the opposite wall or on the ceiling, if not on the floor. But here's what we're going to do. We are going to use these lines as guiding tools and make another line on each of the other 3 walls that lines up with this one. So everyone, take your ruler or your magazine, place it horizontally so that it connects with this first line that we drew. And then draw a line that goes from one of these converging lines with the vanishing point to the other. Now, instead of drawing the next line, we are going to draw another line on this opposite wall. Place our place our ruler vertically, and then draw a line that connects the floor to the ceiling. There we go. Now you are going to connect these 2 lines on the opposite walls with a horizontal line on the ceiling. All right, now we have taken care of one square line. All right, we're finished. Now do what I did with this first line, creating the other lines that wrap around the floor, the wall, and the ceiling, and do it with each of these other lines that we drew on this first wall. All right, now is when we draw all the lines that converge with the vanishing point. What we're gonna do is take our rulers or our magazines or whatever we're using to draw straight edges, and you're gonna make each of your straight edges line up with the vanishing point, and with some mark that you don't have to draw, but you can if you want to. How about this? If you want all of the lines that converge with the vanishing point to be evenly spaced out, you can use a ruler or you could use your fingers and make a mark wherever you want it to be. If you were just using a ruler, you could make a mark at 1 inch and then 2 inches and then so on. But if you didn't want to use a ruler, you could just use your fingers to create the amount of space you want between each mark. Make those marks on the edge of your paper. either with your fingers or your ruler or any other supply you are using. Now that I have made all of those marks, they're going to be my starting points for each line that converges with the vanishing point. I'm going to take my straight edge, line it up with each mark, and create a line that goes from each point to the vanishing point. So I'm going to draw a line from each mark to the vanishing point, but oh wait, I didn't draw that line all the way to the vanishing point because I'm going to be drawing a door inside and also any kind of character you want to draw. I decided to not add any more marks inside the doorway. So I'm going to take my straight edge again, make another line that comes from this mark to the vanishing point, and start to draw a line that stops on the doorway before hitting the vanishing point. Keep doing that with all the marks that you made around your paper. All right, I've drawn all of the lines in the checker pattern on both walls. All right, now I've drawn all lines in the checker pattern on the walls and on the ceiling and on the floor that converge with the vanishing point. But before we draw any characters we want in the middle, we have to draw the door that's open inside the doorway. What I'm going to do for this, I'm going to try to find those lines that converge with the vanishing point here and there. I lightly redrew them because I'm going to get rid of the ones that are closest to the middle. And I'm going to make a vertical line right where I want the edge of the door to be and draw it inside those converging lines. I'm going to erase this mark. Now the vanishing point can vanish because we are done with it. And if you want to accessorize your door with a doorknob or with a window, you can go right ahead and do that. I'm going to make an oval shaped window so that way I don't have to worry about any more converging lines. Now, why don't we add a character in the doorway? For this character, it can be anything of your choosing. You can draw you, or you could draw a pony if you want to think of a pony entering from some doorway from another galaxy. Me, I'm going to draw a baby Yoda. So you just draw whatever character you want. It doesn't have to be something that I'm doing, or you can check out YouTube and find a tutorial for another character and just draw any person you want to be opening this door into our 1-point perspective room. Okay, now I've drawn the character I want to have in my doorway. It is Baby Yoda, of course. Now, you don't have to draw Baby Yoda. Now it's time to start coloring. You don't have to outline it, but because I want the lines where the ceiling or the floor meets the walls to be a little more prominent, I'm going to outline them with a Sharpie and also outline the doorway and Baby Yoda. What I do want you to do is color the inside of the doorway, color your characters, and color every other square. I'm sure a lot of you got really big-eyed thinking, oh my gosh, she wants us to color every single one of these squares. Well, here's my gift to you. Have you ever seen the checker pattern on chessboard? Every other square is white and every other square is black. Well, it could be that way. It doesn't have to be white squares and black squares. It could be white squares with rainbow squares or white squares with blue and red squares. That's absolutely up to you. If you're up for the challenge and getting a little bit of artist cramp, you can color every single one, but what you have to do, especially if you're doing this for a grade, you have to color every other square. To demonstrate, I'm going to take one of my crayons and color this square right here. You don't have to start here. It was just closest to the crayon. Make sure you fill in all the cheese holes, color nice and bright. There we go. Now, am I going to color the next one blue if I'm going for a checkerboard pattern? Nope, I can leave this one white, but then I have to color the next one blue. There we go. Now, if I was coloring to the left, would this next square be blue? Nope, this one will be white, but the one below it will be blue. All right, now I am getting started. You do not have to use crayons like I used just now. You can use colored pencils or markers, or you could use all the art supplies you want. You could use colored pencils or markers in the middle and crayons everywhere else. It's your choice, whatever you want. Just make sure you color it very well. Few cheese holes. Make sure you color in every other checker in the walls and the ceiling and the floor. And let's get started. All right, I finished my drawing and I love how it came out. I did say before you do not have to color every single checker, just every other one. But because I made a little mistake over here, I decided to cover it by coloring it, and then I just ran with it. And hey, I think Baby Yoda is really happy with the final results. Great job, everybody. If you are new to this channel, please click subscribe below so you can get notified whenever there's a new video on Art with Andrea. If you want to say what you liked about this video or say what you think I should draw next, leave a comment below. And above all else, everybody, stay creative, have a good day, and I'll see you all next time.